At the bottom of the world, on the southern coast of New Zealand, just one crew is willing to risk it all.
You've got great white sharks, you've got 7 gillas. You never know what's going to come up behind you.
With a global industry worth almost $500 million a year,
Dollars!
there's fortunes to be made, chasing one of the world's most sought-after delicacies,
I've probably just made a $600 in about an hour and a half.
the sea urchin.
So that's why they call it Spiky Gold.
For huge paydays,
Instead of 13 hours.
they're pushing the limits. Diving up to 75 feet on one breath.
I have blacked out.
It's one of the world's most dangerous professions. Mistakes can be deadly.
Oh, you got glass like blue shark, eh?
I'll go in there, pull his tail, I'll give you 20 bucks.
But these divers are some of the best
He's the best spear fisherman in New Zealand and I'm right on his tail.
and hungriest
Got it! Got me! Monster!
in the world.
We go hard.
It's what happens when you hold your breath for 5 years.
One boat, two teams.
Double again, will ya?
Is that ahead of me?
The race is on.
This is good fun, man.
As the sun sets over Bluff Harbour, skipper Dwayne of the San Nicolas is organising his crew for 3 days at sea, chasing down some spiky gold.
Nightmare. By herding cats.
Oh, fish and chippy. Did you get squid rings?
Dwayne knows all the tricks when it comes to wrangling his crew, and a decent meal of fish and chips is one of them.
Glamour.
For the most part, it's the usual suspects on this mission. But they are one experienced diver down.
Oh, they forgot me.
Dion left the crew last week to go and work in the forestry industry.
Some oceans, eh? I'm out of here.
A real good team player, and hopefully we can entice them back and get them back on the boat and part of the team again.
For now, they're going to have to make do without Dion, but considering the journey Dwayne has planned, he may have dodged a bullet.
We're heading straight into a storm. We're going to punch our way up into Fjordland and then hopefully the next couple of days scratch around and catch some urchins.
Departing Bluff Harbour, the destination Dwayne is aiming for is called Chalky Island, in the far west of Fjordland. A consistent spot for the team, and considering it's a 17-hour steam to get there, you would hope it would be.
The weather's not really with us this trip, but we're sort of under the pressure because we've got a bit of a backlog of orders and we've got a thing called the Oyster Festival on the weekend where we're going to have a stall there with our urchins.
The Bluff Oyster Festival is an iconic event that attracts tourists throughout New Zealand and overseas. A sellout event every year, this is an amazing stage to showcase the delicacies Dwayne and his crew pull from the sea floor. But before that can happen, Dwayne and his team need to catch them, and as the San Nic steams out of Bluff Harbour, their chances are very suddenly put in jeopardy. Dwayne has spotted smoke coming from beneath the deck.
I popped my head down in the engine room and saw a whole lot of smoke coming out of the motor. Thought to myself, this isn't ideal.
Dwayne wastes little time identifying what's causing the smoke.
Turbo casing got a bit hot, so I have to figure out how to cool it down.
Thankfully, the San Nic is only an hour out of Bluff, and there is still cell phone reception to call for help.
That casing around the turbo is starting to smoke a bit.
I got hold of Murray, he's our local engineer. The worst thing for us is that our air intake is in there as well, and if it's sucking up the smoke that's coming off the turbo, it's just going to clog the motor up and not run too well.
Heading into a long night of stormy weather with a malfunctioning boat is not ideal, but Dwayne seems to be getting a handle on the problem.
Now the turbo.
The issue was the exhaust of the turbo was leaking. It was just loose enough so that there was smoke billowing out of it, smoke that was meant to go out the side of the engine or outside of the boat. So got off the phone with Murray, decided that I just had to keep an eye on it, and we'll carry on up to Chalky and get into the work.
So we've just pulled up here in Chalky Sound in Fiordland. It's taken us 17 hours to get here, so it was quite a punch into the wind the whole way, but now we're all ready to go. Boys have had a bit of a kip on the way, so hopefully we're ready to go.
With no repeat of engine troubles overnight, Dwayne is confident the sand nick will carry them home. Time for the real business, and the boys are pretty excited to get into it.
Mate, the spot definitely delivers all the time. We're going to jump in today. We haven't been here in about 6 months. We're going to have a cheeky gander. So all around over here, it's all fantastic for it. Right behind us is also my other hotspot. There's no telling anyone that. So yeah, I'm going to jump in and give my 100% with me ginger dog mate here.
I'm going to be making some money today. We only got 3 divers on the boat and I got 2 of them. So I got, 60% of the pay for the dinghy, boys. Yeah, buddy.
Red Dog's confidence may also come from the fact that his only rival today is a rookie.
So today we got a new dinghy, boy. We got one of Storm's, mate. It's actually from school. We got another school kid.
Another kid?
Yeah, another kid.
He's straight off the farm from Middlemarch.
I think he should fit right in, eh? He's got a good work ethic and he'll just be another Red Dog.
Yeah,
Make some dollars!
Yeah. How do you feel knowing that you've got one of the best commercial divers on your dinghy and you're going to have to try and keep up with him all day?
Herbert.
Doesn't sound easy.
He's a animal, man, but you'll love it, mate.
It's actually not that good because he's quite overweight. He's past his prime, mate. He's well past it, so you'll keep up.
When you're going hard and you got sweat pouring down your face, man, that's when you know you're doing all right. You're working good for your money.
You're losing way more weight than Dwayne would.
You're losing more weight sweating it out than what you can drink and you're doing all right.
It's a baptism of fire for young George, but in truth, he should be thankful to be in the skipper's hands for his first day off the sheep farm.
I've got a sort of policy, if we've got a new dinghy boy, I'll take him and sort of just train him up a little bit.
Right, and go left?
How many got? Just two. Those other boys just they don't give a
With the team sorted, it's time to make the most of the day's best hours. A good day would see each diver earn upwards of $1,000. And if this area is as good as they're hoping, that should be easy. To collect sea urchin commercially in New Zealand, no underwater breathing apparatus is permitted. Divers must work on breath hold alone. This ensures divers are limited to shallow water and only sustainable numbers of urchins are collected.
Yeah, we got down there, we found tons of urchins. The quality was bloody horrible. I don't think we're going to make any money at all out of these sea urchins.
It was pretty terrible quality at this first spot, so we decided to hightail it and find another one.
Give us some reds, back up.
Back on the Sand Nick, the training day for newbie dinghy boy George is just getting underway.
Say hi to the camera.
George might not be a big speaker, but let's hope he's a deep thinker, as he's got a lot to learn today.
So what we do is he pushes off, push off, and then the nose goes out. Just go forward, so you're away from the boat.
Dwayne's picked a rocky outcrop just a stone's throw from the Sand Nick. It's been successful for him in the past. All that matters now is that his new teammate can keep up with his legendary pace. But for the moment, it looks like George is going to leave the captain to fend for himself out there. Raymond and Storm have returned with their first run and are keen to spin some yarns about their newest crew member.
He lives on a farm, so he's probably got no sea experience whatsoever.
The young fella woke up at about 7 o'clock this morning, been spewing his guts out all night. the poor just looked like he'd been hit by a bus.
Sort of roped him in the deep end. I was like, oh, we need a dinghy boy, and he's like, oh, I'll come out.
So yeah, he jumped straight on the dinghy, away with Dwayne Herbert, and hopefully just showed him the ropes. But yeah, definitely looked like he'd been swung across the face with a baseball bat this morning.
So far, George looks pretty comfortable in his work as Dwayne scouts about to find the money spot.
So I found what I was after pretty quick. The urchins were good quality.
But while Dwayne reaps the rewards below the surface, George is now drifting further away from where he should be.
It didn't take me long to fill up my first kit, but when I got up and started looking around for George, it drifted off a bit. He was keeping his distance. I'm pretty sure it was just because he didn't want to run me over, but who knows.
An integral part of a dinghy boy's job is handling the changeover swiftly and safely. While the diver is in the water, he needs to be raking up urchins, not wasting precious time waiting for another net.
Bit of trial and error, throwing the nets out as well. He kind of threw the wrong end at me. But he's new and he's, just trying to figure it out. Understandable in my book. You can tell he's growing up in a practical environment. He's from a farm. It's all a learning process for him.
A learning process it may be, but by the looks of the direction George is heading, a little more tutelage is needed. Leaving Bluff Harbour late last night and overcoming bad weather
Heading straight into a storm. We're going to punch our way up into Fjorden.
and engine problems,
Turbo casing got a bit hot, so I have to figure out how to cool it down.
the crew of the Sand Nick completed a hearty 17-hour journey to Chalky Island in Fjordland.
Mate, this spot definitely delivers all the time.
Yeah, buddy.
Wasting no time, the team's headed out to hunt down some fat sea urchins. Skipper Dwayne paired himself up with newbie dinghy boy George to teach him the ropes. After a rocky start, George is starting to get the hang of the job.
That's the one. The trip up was a bit rough, and poor old George is a bit crook for most of the trip. So considering he didn't get any sleep last night and hasn't done it before, he's picked it up really well.
Which is just as well. With a big order to fill, Dwayne is working like a man possessed and really starting to show why he is considered one of the best divers in New Zealand. And the urchins he's found are fat and proving to be one hell of a workout for George.
The nets would be 40 to 50 kilos, probably just as heavy as him, trying to drag them over the side.
And there's no time to rest when you're working for Dwayne. He's got another full net. 30 minutes of diving is all it takes for Dwayne to have his pick of the choicest urchins, and it's time to move on. Back on the Sand Nick, Raymond, Storm and Red Dog are unloading their first haul.
Oh, I've got work, Storm.
But so far, there isn't a lot to smile about.
Oh, it's pretty slow, eh? There's lots of them, but yeah, just the lack of the fat ones. Real awful. Small row, bad colour, just not what we want, eh?
Undeterred by their first effort, they waste no time and head for the next of their favoured spots. Unfortunately, after a quick scout, the goods are turning out to be very disappointing here too.
We were struggling, we were scratching away. It was bloody horrible conditions and it was almost pointless being there, to be honest.
It was pretty hard work for very few urchins. Like every time you dive down, it would just be like you're swimming for fun sometimes.
And in full concurrence is Red Dog.
Oh, no money there. Jesus.
By the looks of things, Raymond has decided to change his sights altogether and target something a touch more lively.
Spied a few crayfish down in a crack, so I dived down to give the old bloody smash and grab. It's unfortunately undersized, so sums up the day I'm having.
Heading back to the Sand Nick for the first time is Dwayne and George. They have 3 packed dollabs of fat urchin, and George is pretty happy with his efforts so far.
You're doing all right?
A man of few words George may be, but the quality of these urchins will definitely put a smile on his face when he gets his first paycheck.
George is loving it, eh? Yeah. He's going to tell his old man to sell the farm, buy a boat, come fishing.
Dwayne may be speaking too soon. There is still a lot of hours left in the day, and this job is all about stamina. A quick changeover of the dough labs, push off and then back into it again. Around the next inlet, Red Dog's team continue to scavenge to find gold. Although there is quantity, the quality is again leaving a lot to be desired.
We didn't leave here. No, we didn't vote, folks.
Executive decision made, the guys pile back into the dinghy. But for Raymond, it's not just the woeful diving that's getting to him.
Yeah, pretty cold though. This is smooth stuff. I haven't got this stuff leaking.
I'll buy it off you when you don't want it.
Yeah, I was having a real morning. My bloody wetsuit started to leak. I got real cold, so I was just constantly pissing in the prick trying to keep myself warm. But yeah, thankfully the old ginger dog had a secret spot lined up.
This coastline round the corner, we would have picked 20 ton off of it. Like, it's unreal, man. They just seem to walk straight up from a couple hundred metres deep, straight up the face and say, I reckon it's always so good around here. Heaps of them, it's just trying to find the big one.
While Red Dog guns his team to his prime spot, back around the corner, Dwayne and George have found a quiet inlet that's again coming up trumps.
The second spot was a cracker. It was nice and calm, it was shallow, there were plenty of urchins around. George was starting to get the hang of the dinghy buoying, so everything was going good.
Having had no luck at Red Dog's favoured spot, a beaten and dejected team returned to the Sand Nick.
It was pretty gutting. All the spots that we usually go to, they usually provide really well for us. Just weren't playing the game today. It's a bit disappointing, but that's the way it rolls.
But Raymond's opinion on Dwayne's catch for the day lifts his spirits somewhat.
Oh yeah. He isn't cool. But it's actually real good because now I don't feel guilty about not catching cool.
Considering to do another bin, but it's getting low light. Raymond's getting cold, so probably just want to have a cooler day. Let Dwayne carry the team today.
Oh, I'm just so cold, bro. Just jumping in the shower, warm up my hands, and it's just bloody freezing. We're scratching around for ball. The sea urchin row is real skinny, so it's not really worth our while. So, unfortunately, I've just had one of those days where I've just decided to knock it on the head and just go with the flow and see what happens tomorrow.
With that said, things couldn't be more different for Dwayne. Utilising the late afternoon sunlight, he powers on.
I was having a great time of it. You've got to make hay while the sun shines.
While the captain works into the early evening,
Crane, ignition, go!
back aboard the Sand Nick, his crew are taking the opportunity to enjoy themselves too.
I wish I had kids.
Considering they have a big order to fill and the journey they took to get there, this level of negligence is very surprising. But at least Red Dog's antics have the crew's well-being in mind.
I figured we'd make a call for the day. Couldn't catch, so, you know, might as well catch some dinner.
Got these foul sausages nobody likes. Oh, yeah, there we go. Primo salad, mate. Those are good size, eh?
We were planning on having mince for tea, but Red Dog here decided to drop his handline right beside the boat, and he's slowing the blue cod. It's so funny because Dwayne's still working.
Raymond may be laughing now, but the captain's on his way back to the Sand Nick, and he's not pleased.
A little bit frustrating to see the boys when you're coming around the corner and they're off goofing around. We're out here to make money and do the job.
It's the first day of diving for the crew of the Sand Nick in and around Chalky Island, Fiordland. Normally this is a productive spot, but for Team Raymond, Red Dog and Storm, the return has been bleak.
Oh, no money there.
Small row, bad colour, just not what we want, eh?
So instead of persevering into the late afternoon,
I wish I had kids.
they've called it quits and focused their attention on some more entertaining pursuits. For Red Dog, that means a spot of fishing.
Down here in Southland, we've got the blue cod. Up north, you have the snapper.
You know, it's just what everyone prefers, you know, I suppose, blah, blah, all that sort of. But these are actually the nicest ones I've eaten. This is like pure Southland gold, man. This is what you love. At prime dinner, man. Prime dinner right there. Let's look at it. Beautiful colours. And there's heaps down there.
Considering blue cod is one of the most expensive fish sold at market in New Zealand, Red Dog is catching the crew one classy dinner.
Yeah, boys will be over the moon. I'm stoked.
Big boys. Solid predatory fish. These are mean. They'll eat anything.
Working like a production line, Raymond fillets the cod the moment they're caught.
Can't get much more fresh than that, mate.
As the sun begins to set over Chalky Island, Dwayne is finally heading in to finish his day.
It was a tough day out there. George and I put the hard yards in and made the most of the day. It's a little bit frustrating to see the boys when you're coming around the corner and they're off goofing around. You're not doing the job when you're catching blue cod and mucking around.
And to top it off, Storm is now trying to say Dwayne's urchins are of a subpar quality.
That's not what we're looking for.
That's probably the only one out of the whole lot like that.
He thinks that, but they're all like that.
They're not all like that. I just cracked the fat ones.
You call that fat? That was our average before.
Shut up.
It's us.
I'm proud of you. Could have had a better day today, but we didn't get in the water till late, so we sort of worked till dark, till as late as we could. Urchins aren't as fat as we were hoping. The ones that are fat, there's not many of them, so it's sort of catch-22, whether we catch loads of urchins or whether we catch not many urchins, but good recovery. Young fella did real good. A couple of hairy moments in there in the shallows, but yeah, you can tell he's driven a dinghy before. He's got a bit of a head on him, which is good.
Good day, really. Keen for tomorrow.
With George summing up the day nicely and the last dolabs loaded, the boys discuss what was altogether slim pickings.
So today, me and Storm managed to do 6 dolabs between us.
5 3/4.
That's not 3/4, that's full. We done a total of 6 dolabs, and today Dwayne basically done a total of 5. But we're a bit disadvantaged, aren't we, shooting a dinghy? So
Dwayne's the man. We just have to leave it at that.
As night draws in, a feast is being prepared in the galley. Raymond drew the short straw and is on cooking duties.
carp pie, my G, chew, my bro.
It's fresh blue cod all round.
Righto, boys, get us ready. Buddy, get into it.
But the skipper's not hungry. After a dismal day, he knows the team are going to have to put in a huge effort tomorrow if they're going to fill the order and recoup their costs on the trip. It's the final day of diving, and the crew have woken to a cold and windy morning. Nobody's looking forward to jumping in the ocean today.
So we've just moved around the corner to a new area. Just go check the urchins out. It's really windy. It just doesn't look that ideal, but you never know. You could jump in the like this and it could be the fattest ones we've ever seen.
Dwayne is hesitant about the high winds versus the urchin quality and needs to decide whether to stay put or to try the next inlet around.
Chloe, you like jacket?
Yeah. The only way to know if the urchins are any good is to get in there, crack a few open and suss it out. The boys have got a bit of catching up to do after yesterday's antics, so I'm going to throw them in there and make them pull their weight today.
While Dwayne hangs back on the Sand Nick, Red Dog's team test the waters. They have a large order to meet, so hopefully this spot has a high yield. Because if it doesn't, the alternative would mean to transport the dinghies around to the next bay, which would cost precious time. Storm is onto a couple of patches straight away, so things are looking hopeful. Raymond's only 30 metres away, but here the currents are much stronger, making it tough going. And the urchin patches are few and far between.
Bloody rough down there, just getting blown all over the bottom, back and forth. There's bugger all there, so didn't really justify me being there, to be honest at all.
Just across the next inlet, Storm is finding the situation no better. The urchins are scarce and it's taking longer and longer to fill the nets. This is not the start to the morning they needed, with orders yet to be fulfilled. Dwayne has spent the morning back on board keeping an eye on the weather, but has sent George to check up on the boys to check the quality of the urchin.
What do they like? They're bro. They're like their actual.
So yeah, the sea urchin's real. We're just going to head back to the boat. We're going to make a new plan and hopefully find some fat ones, because that's just not takeable.
Alright, you make $1, do what you got to do. But yeah, no, it's going to be a long day, really long day.
With everyone in agreement, the crew head back to the sand nick to regroup. Given the circumstances, Dwayne's decided to pull anchor and steam around the corner to Preservation Inlet. With the wind picking up and the tide turning against them, the quickest and safest way to get there is with everybody back on board the sand nick.
So we're just going to shoot around a Prezi. The best way to go around there is to tow the dinghies. Red Dog's in charge of that because he usually gets it all sorted and knows what he's doing.
This is always my job. I always take it very seriously because we have our prop right under the washboard, and I freak out that all the rope runs under the washboard. You go to take off and the propeller just chops it up, and it wraps. It'll shoot the dinghy in and then boom, straight into the prop. It's a $10,000 brass prop and a $15,000 dinghy. 25 grand like that, mate, just on a simple little up. So you got to be very careful.
Dinghy successfully in tow, everyone's hoping for a better haul this afternoon.
Pretty average really, like it's just that struggle of winter time trying to find them fat urchins, and we're just having to move to another whole sound to actually get some, so yeah, it's just going to be a battle there, but just keep going and work hard, you know, that's what you got to do.
Preservation Inlet is just as windy, and it's even a struggle to board the dinghies. But the hope is for more sheltered waters close to shore and an abundance of sea urchins.
Yeah, bro, we need 7 wheels out of here, bro. I've had enough of this. That's a night here out the
After a hair-raising ride in, there's little shelter at Red Dog's chosen spot, so Storm is quick to dive in and escape the wind. Straight away, he's rewarded. Decent-sized urchins and all sitting close to each other.
The first one I cracked open had the biggest, juiciest rod I'd seen in a few months, eh? It was great.
While they may have finally found the gold, the battle they now have is with the clock.
We're running out of bit daylight here at the moment. The boys are just going to have to dig it in. Hopefully if they put an effort in, we can come away with a good load.
The crew of the Sand Nick have had a rough morning's hunt. Wind, swell and poor quality sea urchins have forced them to abandon the area and travel to a whole new inlet. The weather's still not great, but the urchin quality is way better. Now it's just a race against the clock before the tide turns.
I think there should be enough around here as long as we have enough time, like we're pretty limited on daylight and winter hours.
We hit the jackpot actually. Boys found some really fat urchins, good colour, good size, but we're running out of daylight, so we had to put the hard yards in and make sure we stayed in there as long as we could to fill the load.
Team George is venturing out for the first time today. Now Dwayne's confident they're hitting a good area. And despite the strong currents, he too is able to bag a catch quickly. George's dinghy boy skills are improving. He's deploying and collecting bags like a pro. Nothing like a morning off and a time limit to get you amped up and working hard. Down on the seabed, Dwayne's hard at it as well, pleased with both the size and the quality of the urchins he's collecting.
The urchins here are fat and juicy and good colour.
On the surface, there's still a battle with the wind, and the clouds over the hill suggest rain is on its way. Team Red Dog are on a roll, with both Storm and Raymond filling bags almost quicker than Red Dog can handle. The sea urchin row is looking fantastic, and before long, a crowd gathers in the hope for a taste. Back at the Sand Nick, George and Dwayne unload their first run for the day. Despite having endured poor conditions during the dive, they're in good spirits.
Bit of urchin quality today, I suppose.
Seem to be consistently better colour and much better than yesterday. Had a 7-giller give me arseholes before, but showed him his boss.
Across the other side of the bay, Storm and Raymond are showing no signs of slowing down. And the dough labs are almost full, which means Red Dog will need to return to the Sand Nick to unload.
Okay, right, I'll come give this back to you.
He decides to make the most of a good situation.
They're good, man. They're real good. There's a few of them too, so I'm just letting load by myself. Leave these rats in the water.
They'll keep hunting while Red Dog's away, and at this rate should have another full dough lab's worth of premium Spiky gold by the time he returns. And there's a good reason to hurry.
Run out of time, we got to leave here by 4 o'clock to catch the tide, alright? So yeah, that's on the time limit now. Not fast enough sometimes, eh? That's nice, that's real good. No time for lunch, bro. This is my lunch here. Urchins are fat as. We're just on a time limit. We've got to be out of here by 4 o'clock. So I'm just going as hard as I can. Can't even unload by myself, don't mind doing it. As long as they're still catching me urchins while I'm doing it. Sweet ass. This is all good.
With the wind and currents increasing, Raymond and Storm are flat out collecting as many good urchins as they can manage. The quality's not dropping and the visibility's still okay, so the boys don't let up in their collection. Soon enough, the dough labs are full again and it's time to head back to the Sand Nick for a hard-earned rest.
We've been waiting for this moment all day, and finally, we've got it. Yeah, bloody awesome sea urchins, mate.
We started off real. Then we come around the corner into this next bay and it's really good. We're just backwards and forwards for about 2-3 hours non-stop, eh? And I'm feeling a bit tired after it now, but it's all right. Straight to bed when I'm done. But hey, making me money is awesome. Loving it.
Unfortunately, it's not quite bedtime yet. They've only just realised that more urchins are required than first thought.
Well, I thought that was my last one. Come back, unloaded it. Real bloody cold, but boss man has told me I must go out and catch the last bit of the day. It's 3 o'clock, we've got an hour to go. It's not negotiable really, so I'm bloody into it.
We're close to filling the boat and hitting our target for this trip. Boys just got to keep going hard where they are. But the sooner we get that load in, the sooner we can get going. Hopefully we can catch that tide that's heading in, which will just make it a much easier trip home.
And it's much easier collecting the sea urchins when you know where the fat ones are. Racing against the clock, Team Red Dog soon have enough quality product to return back to base. But this time, it's not just urchins they've brought back with them.
When I was raking in the urchins, I come across these nice big abalone, Blackfoot. Yeah, Haliotosaurus they're called. Yeah, they're pretty big size.
Which reminds Dwayne of a promise he made to his sister, who's getting married this weekend.
It's not every day your sister gets married, so I'm on fishing duties, supplying the seafood.
But being the skipper has its perks, and one of those is the power of delegation.
Nobody wants to be out in these sort of conditions at the end of the day after a hard day's diving. So Storm and George have drawn the short straw, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we just finished our day urchin diving and yeah, it's been pretty awful really, but we're off to go get some crayfish and some paua for Dwayne's sister's wedding. So we'll shoot over the other side and hopefully we'll get some.
one last push is all they need. But with the weather continuing to deteriorate, Storm's about to find out just how powerful the sea can be. After a long day's grind diving for sea urchins in the stormy oceans of the deep south, Dwayne has given each team one more task before day's end.
Real bloody cold, but boss man has told me I must go out and catch the last spin of the day. It's 3 o'clock, we've got an hour to go. It's not negotiable really, so I'm bloody into it.
Yeah, it's been pretty awful really, but we're off to go get some crayfish and some paua for Dwayne's sister's wedding.
Nobody wants to be out in these sort of conditions at the end of the day after a hard day's diving, but I promised my sister a decent spread at her wedding, so Storm and George have drawn the short straw, unfortunately.
The rugged shorelines are ideal for abalone, found in between rocks and in crevices, sheltering from predators, tides and bad weather. They have to be longer than 125 millimeters by law before harvest, and the rough conditions are making both the measurement and the collection near impossible. Storm is thrown around between the rocks, fighting hard to stay the right way up. Suddenly, a huge wave hits, catching Storm off guard, sending him tumbling out of control over the rocks and back into the ocean.
The surge just came out of nowhere, like it was just this freak wave. I got flung into a rock and it ripped the mask clean off my face.
Without his mask, it's game over, and they have to return with what they have.
A cubic metre of water weighs a tonne. If that's going to land on you, you're going to know about it. It's probably quite lucky to come out of there without any injuries.
Storm may not have any injuries, but him and our cameraman do have a story to share with the crew.
Storm lost his mask and snorkel that he's had for his diving career, so he's a bit upset about that. It just came out of nowhere, man. Just got funneled over in this tiny little gap. You know?
Oh, were you in that gully? I told you there's a few in there, right?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
And like, by now the water just disappeared. Oh, I was like, gnarly.
So the hunt for crayfish is abandoned, but Dwayne's sister will still get half of her wedding gift.
Yeah, we've just got a few small wee abalone, like they're still legal size, but yeah, the gut that we were diving in took my mask as well. I've had that mask for so long, and like, now I have to get a new one, and it's always annoying having a new mask.
While Storm's more concerned about his precious diving gear, Red Dog's finishing stacking the hold, aware of the turning tide and deteriorating weather.
Glad it's done. We've had about 4 odd different showers of rain come in. Windy all day, rain, sun, but hey, that's a day of fueling for you.
The whipping breeze doesn't make packing up any easier.
Pretty happy with the result considering the start of the day and yesterday, so fat urchins and good trip ahead home. Gonna be rough.
The boys get everything tied down securely for the trip and then settle in for a well-deserved break.
Oh, that's a bit rolly once I hand the drinks out there, everyone. That's problem of mine. It's all good. It's gone. Thank you, Red Dog.
Bye.
As they steam out of Preservation Inlet, the tallies for the teams are in. Storm and Raymond managed to collect 15 dolabs of high-quality urchins, earning them a total of $2,800. Team Dwayne wasn't far behind, with 12 dolabs making him $2,200 for the 2 days. Not a bad recovery considering the rocky start, and it's sufficient to fill the week's orders and have enough left over to sell tomorrow at the famous Bluff Oyster Festival. It's 4:30 AM when the Sand Nick returns to Bluff, and it's all hands on deck to get the sea urchins unloaded straight away in order to get them to the factory for processing. As soon as they are inside the processing plant, the sea urchins are stacked in trays and cracked open. Next, the insides are removed by hand and the urchin roe is separated. After cleaning, draining and quality checks, the best of the urchin roe is packaged and weighed. Salt water is added to keep the urchin roe fresh, and then the pottles are dropped into an ice bath until the optimum temperature for transport is reached. The containers are then dated and packed into insulated boxes for immediate delivery. They leave the factory mid-morning, bound for destinations all around the world. Only 4 hours later, and Bluff is staging its biggest event of the year.
No, it hasn't forgotten. It's just got to cook.
Dwayne hasn't slept yet, and now he's in charge of the hot chips.
So we're at the Oyster Festival today. We've just got back in from diving about 3 or 4 hours ago. We're straight down here. We've got the urchins out the front. Today's actually about the bluff oysters that live out in the strait, but we want to try and teach everyone about the urchins as well and try and promote the product.
Thousands of tourists flock to the tiny town to sample the variety of seafood New Zealand's deep south has to offer.
So that's just your normal box. We've got, I don't know, upwards of 10 to 15,000 people here. Pretty big day for a town of 3,000 or 4,000. But yeah, they're coming. But yeah, so no, it's an exciting day. We've got a good team here and everyone's sort of chipping in for the day. But I'm at the back on the deep fryer, so I can hide. Hang on.
While the fried oysters and abalone fritters are a staple at the event, the sea urchins are quite a talking point amongst the visitors.
At 4 o'clock yesterday they were swimming. It's 10 o'clock in the morning and they're getting eaten, so pretty fresh.
$10.
While some guests want to experience the real deal, there's still the choice to try the safer looking version.
The idea of this is to let people try it for the first time. So that some have a toothpick, some scull it back, and we find 90% of the people that try it for the first time quite like it. 20% may come back and have another go before the end of the day, and some people it's not their cup of tea, so some will spit it out, some will swear a little bit, but at least they've tried it.
That's it. It's about everyone having a try, isn't it? Everyone else having a taste.
Yeah. Food festival, that's what we do.
Next time on Spiky Gold Hunters. A 36-hour mission sees the teams at full throttle from the get-go.
Your biggest try today.
With competition fierce.
We actually really need to get into it because they're real greedy, man.
Time to get home now. Just need another one.
The title for Diver Supreme is up for grabs.